All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics. I'm here with two very special guests, and I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time.
I'm Montana.
I'm Lacey McMurray.
Guys, you guys just won another area championship recently, I think last night, was it correct?
Yes, sir.
Take us back to last night and how that all transpired. I heard you come off the bench and hit 4 threes, I believe, Coach told me.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead. How was the game last night?
It was definitely exciting. I was excited because, this is my first year starting. So, like, being in these type of games, it just means a lot. But I was definitely pumped because I came out and hit 2 threes in the first quarter.
You hit 2 threes in the first quarter as well.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
So I was excited. It was fun.
That'll get the juices flowing here
yeah.
at this place because this environment here is insane, especially when you guys start rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty nice, especially with getting our bench players off the bench and getting some minutes in. That was nice.
I want to rewind the clock to, and I got to talk to the girls last week about this, to the Hazel Green game. I told Ricky that was a special night for girls basketball, not just Spring Garden girls basketball, but girls basketball all over the state. And I'll tell you why. I had people from Mobile like messaging me for updates, what's going on, what's it look like in there, how many people's there, and we're talking about Mobile. So that's how many eyeballs was watching it. And you ladies performed at a really high level. You played your guts out. I mean, you was having to guard their big, what was she, 6'3"?
About 6'3".
6'3" or something, you was battling. Take us back. Talk about that performance you had defensively and what that was like.
It was definitely challenging. I will say taking our trip to Greenville, Tennessee got me prepared for that because I played a lot of good post players. I kind of just went to the game knowing that she was bigger than me and that I was going to have to just work my tail off the whole game to be able to do what I needed to.
After that first possession, when she jumped in there and grabbed that rebound laid it in,
definitely.
was you thinking,
Definitely showed me, like, okay, like, got to stay on it. Like, you can't be slacking, box out. Because it just took one time for her to get away from me, and it was just, she had it.
Right. Yeah, just a split second.
Yeah.
She was there. From your standpoint, obviously, you've seen some big games here and some crowds, but being there, what was it like from the locker room, being there on the court? What was it like?
Well, Coach Wright always talks about how, like, even if you don't get, like, playing time during those games, to really pay attention because you still have next year and the time to buy in. And it was a good game, and it was fun to watch. And you could tell, like, they fought with their good. Like, they tried everything they could, and they did very good that game. And it was fun getting to watch them.
But now, you have a very important role preparing them.
During practice.
The ones who did play. Talk about that leading up to that game. How hard did y'all go at it in practice to get everybody ready to roll?
Well, during practice, we really do try our best to guard them to their. I mean, it gets physical sometimes, but that's our game. So all of the bench players, we just try our best to give them something to work at.
Absolutely, no
and
doubt.
Play hard defense.
Now coming up, you guys have sub-regional. Who's your opponent going to be in sub-region?
I'm pretty sure it should be Eider.
Eider, okay. Do y'all play them? Is that y'all's? No, that would be. That would be regionals.
That's regionals, yeah.
We'll play.
I know who
Oakwood
it is.
and Eider
Oakwood.
playing, and we play the loser of Oakwood and Eider
So it should be Oakwood.
for sub-region.
Okay, I got you.
Should be a good game. Coach Wright was talking about Oakwood and how they're not like Winterboro, but it'll be a good kind of comparison to like athletic and
Gotcha.
Physical.
What's it like for each one of you guys? Can y'all answer this? What's it like being a female athlete here at Spring Garden? Because sports in general across the board, whether it be volleyball, whether it be softball, whether it be basketball, is dominant.
Yeah, I love it here. I enjoy it a lot, but it's definitely, you have to really work at it to get to where you want to be. Like, there's no shortcuts. Like, you've got to put in the work. Coaches, love the coaches. They definitely push you, like, to be your best. Like Coach Wright, I wouldn't be here, like, where I'm at today without them. But you have to work. Like, there's no, I'm just going to stay over here, not really
Like-
do this. You've got to put in the work, and it's hard. Like a lot of people try to do it, and they don't follow through with it. So it's definitely a mental thing too.
You're talking about weight room too. Like
Oh,
there's no
yes,
breaks in there either.
no.
And y'all are doing the same lifts as the guys, correct? Or y'all used to? You still do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our community is our culture and everything here, and you really have to buy into that. And like with weight room and stuff, you can't take shortcuts because then you're not going to succeed like your coaches are wanting you to. They're pushing you to your limit.
Y'all have created an atmosphere that's kind of unique, and I'll explain why. A lot of places we go to, and I'm not taking shots at nobody, it's just the nature of the beast. People get in there and they'll kind of hide, and they can get through. You know, they'll do the minimum they're asked to do, and they go home. And same thing at practice, they'll do the minimum, they'll go home. Here, if you guys don't perform and try your hardest and play your guts out, you're the oddball out.
Yeah.
Where in other places, that's normal, it's average. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because it took years to develop that.
Yes, I will say, like, I look back kind of at my 7th and 8th grade years, and at first I was kind of like, okay, this is tough, like, I've got to put in the work, and there was times whenever I was a little bit younger where I kind of, like, I would say slacked a little bit, and then it started to show, and I realized, like, okay, if I want to start, or if I want to be here,
You self-evaluated that.
yes, I have got to work harder. And last year I had took a year off of basketball and never thought I'd be in the position I am now, but I put in so much work and worked on myself and kind of got to where I wanted to be.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, during practice, Coach Rat, he tries giving every single one of us the same amount of reps. That way we don't feel, what would you say?
Slighted.
Yeah, like that, different from the starters or any less. He always,
It's all a team.
yes. And,
Makes sense.
it is easy to slack off. Say if you get in a game and you miss shots, you start losing confidence in yourself.
Well, you come off the bench, but do you feel pressure though, because you're sitting there watching what these starters are doing, and then you go in and you don't want to let anybody down, you want to keep on the
Yes.
throttle? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of not like fall under pressure during those moments when you have, Ace and all the starters that can just go in and hit threes and knock down threes, or get in the paint really good. So that is a lot of pressure, just trying to be up to their standard.
Keep moving. I want to ask both you girls this kind of question. Who were some of the girls here at Spring Garden you looked up to, like when y'all were younger, maybe like middle school, maybe elementary school, that you looked up and was like, man, that girl's awesome. Like, I want to be her or be like her one day.
I would say, okay, so Kristen Lewis, who I play with now, her older sister Lexi, I'm not real sure, I don't remember her last name, but she was a post player, and she had the kindest heart, and she always did everything right. Like, she was going to make sure she did everything to the T. Even if she messed up, she was very coachable. And I remember being a young 8th grader and 7th grader her senior year, and just thinking, like, I want to get to that point. I want to be like her.
Good at it and
Yeah.
a good person.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I remember when I was younger, and I would always go to the state games and stuff like that. And I remember Macy Reedy. She was a really good shooter, And I remember watching her play, and that was just somebody I always watched on the court at all times.
That's Maggie's older sister.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those are some good examples for sure. I remember watching the Spring Garden back in the day. I remember when I seen Ace when we first started Average Joe's, and I seen Ace for the first time, and she was out there warming up, and I was like, man, this is cool. The coach is letting his daughter warm up with the team.
Yeah.
And then she had a headband on. She was playing Collinsville. This is the year Collinsville won 3A. And she was out there warming up with a headband on. I was like, man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she comes out there and starts. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
But about 2 minutes in, I was like, what in the world?
And like, I know me and Ace are very close in age, and like you asked us past players and stuff, but even being right there with her in age and stuff, like, I do still look up to her because she's so humble. She's a very kind person. And
Different
to be
type of
where
animal,
she's
the
at,
most.
like, you wouldn't expect that from somebody who is going to Alabama, but she is one of the sweetest people helps her teammates out. She's always supported me in everything that I do.
We get the pleasure, or not pleasure sometimes, of being around a lot of 4 and 5 stars in other sports, and they're not like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now there is one that I met that's very similar to Ace, and I think you guys seen a little bit of it last year, was Caleb Holt. And y'all seen when he won the MVP and he gave it to his teammates. So I said, that's genuine. I spent a day with him. But, a lot of times, you'll come across those 4 and 5 star athletes, and they're not like Ace or Caleb Holt. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
They're hard to talk to.
She always wants to help her teammates out. Like, just going back to the game last night, like, I had shot my first 3, didn't make it, got to the corner, and she seen me. And she could have, Ace could have done her thing. She could have scored right there, and she seen me, and she was like, there you go. And she looked at me, she was like, hit it.
There
and
we
I
go.
hit it, and it just got
Confidence.
me rolling.
There you go. Just like that. I'm going to ask you guys a couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here. What's it been like, and what is it like being able to play under a legend that's got 1,000 wins? Ricky Austin. Can y'all talk about that a little bit, each one of you guys?
It's definitely, I would say, like, you're always in the back of your head thinking about, like, okay, this is what I've got to meet. Like, here's the standard. Like, I want to be here. But I also know everybody in our community, no matter what, is going to support us, whether we are a D1 athlete or not. And Coach Rapp, trying to think of how to say this, but he doesn't really he'll put pressure on you, but he does it in a way to where he's still a really good coach and wants to make sure that you get to where you need to be. And so
He's not belittling you. He's motivating.
That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He motivates.
He's doing it in a
He
positive
doesn't
way.
Cut you down like.
Because he knows what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Being under Coach Rat, you really don't want to let him down. You just want to try to make him happy, and like Coach Rat believes in you, and he'll push you to your limit, but he won't push you past your limit. He always says that he's going to push us to our limit because he knows when to stop.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he's always going to give you a push, whether you think it's not the right thing to do at that time. But he knows what he's doing.
What's so funny is he's one of those guys you can't pull the wool on him, so to speak. He's coached so many good players, and he knows you guys inside and out. Like, he knows your strength, your weakness. You can't say, well, Coach, I don't know. It's hard. It's a standard there. He knows exactly. So when he says he's going to push you to your limit, he knows that you have it in
I
you.
do think he's also, the 1,000 wins, obviously he's a great coach and he knows what he's doing, but the relationships that he builds with his players, I think, is also what got him there, because he has people that wants to win.
Absolutely.
And wants to do it for him.
No doubt. Yep. They lay it on the line.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, one more question. I'll let you get out of here because I know you guys are busy and I got to go to Oxford myself. Thoughts heading into this all-important sub-regional? You two guys obviously are a big part of this team. Just your mindset and what you're going to do to help the team.
One, I've never made it this far, being this big of a role player on a team, and really I just want to support my teammates and just make sure I do my job when I'm on the court.
Makes sense.
At practice, I'm going to keep, me and my other 5, we're going to play good defense and help them prepare for the game.
Keep pushing everybody.
Yes.
You guys are going to be called on too, because in these tournaments are different.
Yeah.
Play many games in shorter amounts of time. You got travel. So you guys are probably going to have to log some minutes, pretty good bit of minutes coming up. Guys, appreciate you. I hate to tell you this, but you guys have got to go back to class or whatever you were doing. Appreciate you guys sitting in with me. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.